Friends, it is my pleasure to share with you part one of 3 trainings that I gave about ChatGPT and an introduction to AI. Now, I gave them a few months ago, I believe in April 2024. They are very relevant. Okay, so nothing major has changed. You will find that there were some updates since then to ChatGPT, actually very good updates. And OpenAI, who have created ChatGPT, have allowed way more access to the free account users. So this is good news. I will link over here at the top or at the links at the bottom of this YouTube video. I will link my other video explaining how to sign up to ChatGPT if you haven't already. So I recommend doing that as well. This is my full presentation, and it's part one of 3, and I will be releasing all 3 parts, so you can enjoy 3 hours of explaining exactly what AI is, how to use ChatGPT, and how to use actually other systems as well. Very exciting, one of my favorite topics that I will be sharing with you quite a lot. I will remind you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and I call this whole process that we're going through becoming a better you with technology. It means using technology to make our lives better for a purpose, using technology, not just knowing about technology for technology's sake, but making it useful in our lives and making us better and our lives better. So do subscribe to the channel. You'll get all the updates from me. And also when you subscribe, this actually tells YouTube to pick other videos for you, which will also be interesting to you. So this is how we teach the YouTube AI algorithm actually in understanding what we like. So that's highly recommended. It also helps the channel improve and get to more people. So thank you for that in advance. And let's view my entire presentation that I gave recently, part 1 of 3. Enjoy. Welcome, everyone. I'll have my chat window as well so that I can see what you are typing. If you have any questions or comments as we go through this. All right, so we are starting session 1 of Mastering ChatGPT. Welcome, everyone. It's nice to see all of you here. If you were with me before in this series, which I've been running, I don't know, maybe it's the 5th or 6th or I don't know, 7th time, I don't know already, but I've done this a number of times. If you were with me in the last series or one of the last series, then that's great. If not, that's great as well. And it's always great to see new people here. I will cover everything from the start. I will go as slow as needed. I will answer as many questions as needed. There will be new material over here that I didn't cover in the past because, like I said, AI is developing so quickly, and there are so many new things happening almost daily. So there's always a lot to share. I appreciate all of you being here. This is recorded, so I will also release the recording. And I know you are here to learn, and you're investing an hour of your day today with me, and we will do this again tomorrow and then the next day. So this is a 3-part series, and I always say that I always appreciate when people spend their time, and this is actually our most valuable asset. So I really appreciate this, and it's my purpose to make this really worthwhile for you. Now, you will not need any technical background. Some of you have technical background. Some of you have already played around with the different tools. For some of you, this will be completely new, but this is not a technical presentation at all. I will go everything step by step, and we'll dive right in. It's impossible actually to not know the great revolution that's happening around us. Even if you're not too familiar with AI, you've heard the words and you've heard the different buzzwords, and we are here to make this all of this clear. Okay, Moich writes, we'll have to leave a bit early. Not a problem. There will be a recording. So thank you for mentioning. Let me start with the whole idea of artificial intelligence and how it came about. And one of the key figures that I really like talking about, and I was always interested in, is this very, very famous British mathematician and really a computer scientist whose name was Alan Turing. And he lived from 1912 to 1954, and he was one of the key figures in getting this whole AI revolution started, and actually speaking even about the possibility that we would have one day computers or machines that we could talk to and we can communicate with that seem intelligent. Now, I'll show you a short clip that I've created about Alan Turing, just a very, very brief summary. And I'll play this. Hopefully you can hear. So if there is any problem with the audio, just let me know in the chat. But as far as I know, it's all set up for you to be able to hear my computer audio as well. Let me just make sure. Yes. Okay. So let's look at this very, very short introduction to Alan Turing.
In the heart of war-torn Britain lived a brilliant and eccentric mind named Alan Turing. A mathematical genius, he held a secret dream to build a thinking machine, a device that could outsmart humans. The war became his catalyst. The Nazis wielded a terrifying encryption machine, the Enigma, rendering Allied messages unreadable. Turing, joined by a covert team, wrestled with the Enigma's unyielding codes. In a stroke of brilliance, he created a machine to counter the Enigma, the bomb, a groundbreaking invention that helped shift the tides of war. Yet, Turing's mind held even greater ambitions. He devised a test, now known as the Turing test, to probe whether a machine could truly exhibit human-like intelligence. Tragically, his heroism and ideas weren't enough to shield him from an intolerant world, leading to prosecution for being gay. Despite the injustice, Turing's legacy survived as the father of computing, his concepts and his enduring test laying the foundation for the digital world we inhabit.
So this is a very, very short introduction with some images that I put together to create this short video clip, which I'll speak more of later on. And Turing really asked, could a machine imitate human intelligence? There is one book that I really, really recommend. That's his autobiography, or not autobiography, it's his biography. It's called Alan Turing, The Enigma. You can see here my old copy that I got in a used bookstore many years ago. And it's quite a big book, but it's fascinating to those who are interested in that era. It explains about his life and also about the actual science that went just behind the Enigma, and later on, of course, his ideas behind the AI. There was a very, very famous film released about Turing that's called The Imitation Game, and here is a brief explanation of really the actor playing Alan Turing explaining about this imitation game. Let's hear that.
Would you like to play?
Play?
It's a game, a test of sorts, for determining whether something is a machine or a human being.
How do I play?
Well, there's a judge and a subject, and the judge asks questions, and depending on the subject's answers, determines who he is talking with, what he is talking with, and all you have to do is ask me a question.
Okay, so this is a very, very interesting part of the film. I really recommend it. And what he described is this Turing test. It's called the Turing test, where there is the tester, or he called it the judge, and the judge needs to determine, is he speaking with a machine or is he speaking with a human? And a big, big milestone for AI, which we today consider that we have really actually achieved, a milestone for AI was, can a computer someday pass the Turing test? Okay, that means, we go back to this diagram, can a machine, a computer, imitate the human so much so that this judge, the tester, wouldn't be able to say if this was a computer or this was a human being? That was a big milestone. It was called the Turing test, and it was long believed that it's going to take many, many years, maybe hundreds or even thousands of years until this could be accomplished. And in fact, it was accomplished much more quickly than what was anticipated. And today you can actually look at creations made by AI, or even speak with an AI agent or a computer, and not really know if it's a human on the other side that is creating, or a computer. So now we're going to play the Turing test game. Some of you have done this before with me. It's a chance to do this again. And I'm going to play for you 3 compositions, and I'm going to ask which of these was composed by AI. Don't type in the chat, okay? Do not type in the chat. I'm going to show this questionnaire poll in a minute, just where you can share your answers, okay? So let's play the Turing test game, and I'm going to start with A. So listen carefully. One of these was composed by AI. Okay, that was A. Now let's listen to B. Okay, so that's B, and now listen to C. It's a bit longer. Okay, so which of these was composed by AI? Let's run a quick poll. Okay, and this is the poll. Okay, so which music was created by AI? Was it A, B, or C? Okay, I'll wait until I have enough votes. Okay, so I have 58, 62%, 68%, 72%, 75%. Okay, almost all of you have answered. That's great. 82%. Great. Okay, so we'll end the poll right here. So I'll end the poll, and let's view the results together. I'm always intrigued at what we will see, and I will also read the results. Okay, so I'm going to share the results. Okay, so we have 13% who said A, and then we have 46% who said B, and 42% who said C. Okay, so A was the beginning of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, and C was the beginning of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. That's A and C, and B, we'll talk about B momentarily, but it was composed by artificial intelligence, but AI. What is interesting is if you look at A and C together, which is 55%, which means that more than half of us in this room thought that the real compositions were composed by AI. Okay, last time I did this poll, we got even a more big of a difference, but it still shows something very, very important. More than half of us thought that the real compositions were composed by AI. And this is very, very significant. Okay, so we can definitely say that this composition actually passed the Turing test. It was able to appear as if it's composed by a person. So piece B was Beethoven also, but this was Beethoven's 10th symphony that he never wrote. He never wrote this symphony. Okay, all he did, he actually composed 9 symphonies. Okay, Beethoven, one of the greatest composers ever. He composed 9 symphonies and then left a sketch. Okay, he left a sketch for a 10th symphony. Marie writes, wow, that's worrying. Okay, we'll talk about worrying or not worrying a bit later. But yes, many people are starting to be worried about AI because we are not really able to recognize. And actually tomorrow, I'll mention more about this and what we should be careful about. And you'll see also another demonstration today that I haven't shown before about what AI can create, which is really, really amazing. So Beethoven left the sketch of the 10th symphony. And this sketch was turned into a full symphony by AI in 2021. Okay, now the people who were involved were musicians and musicologists, but most important, it was done by consulting with the greatest Beethoven expert ever. Now, who is this expert? So I went into ChatGPT, which we'll go into shortly, where I can ask an AI system. ChatGPT is an AI system. I can ask a question, and I asked this question: who is the greatest Beethoven expert? And I got a few answers: Maynard Solomon, Lewis Lockwood, Barry Cooper. Okay, so actually Barry Cooper, I believe, had his own version of Beethoven's 10th symphony, not created by AI, but by himself. So who is this very well-known expert that was consulted? Well, in fact, the fact is that the expert was actually Beethoven himself, or rather an AI model that can act like Beethoven based on the entirety of his works. The idea behind AI, we'll talk about what it means to train an AI system. They took this computer or a big set of computers and actually they fed into it the entirety of Beethoven's works. And this computer became the greatest Beethoven expert, even being able to predict what these next notes will be in this grand symphony, this great symphony. Okay, so let's meet AI Beethoven. This is an image of Beethoven that I actually created using AI. And I used a system that's freely available. I'll talk more about it later, but it's called Leonardo AI. And I went into Leonardo AI and I typed in Beethoven close-up realistic HD camera. Okay, and this part is called a prompt. This is called a prompt, which is a piece of text that I use when I work or speak to an AI system, and it generated this image of Beethoven. And then I wanted to see Beethoven in action, so I generated a different image, and this was done with a different system, not Leonardo. This was done with the Microsoft Bing Create, or the Microsoft Creator. I'll talk more about it later on. And I typed in this prompt of a historical reimagining featuring Ludwig van Beethoven conducting an orchestra in the grand and ornate setting of Carnegie Hall, etc., etc., and it generated this image. Okay, so we have this whole concept now of how AI Beethoven looks and how he sounds. And actually, let's listen to the beginning of Beethoven's 10th Symphony, because it was actually performed by a real orchestra. So this is very interesting. Okay, well, I don't know what you thought about it, but please type in the chat what you think about what we've discussed so far, and what you think about this piece and this whole idea. Marie wrote before, "Wow, that's worrying," but that's obviously a point of view that many people hold. I personally think that this is really exciting, and later on I'll also explain more about why. And a very interesting and really nice thing, I think, that was done was towards the release in 2021 of a new banknote in the UK, which was the new £50 note. And there was a whole campaign that was called Think Science, and there was a short list of who would be on the £50 note. And you'll see many scientists here, very well known. Stephen Hawking, you see here, Paul Dirac. Okay, you'll also see our friend Alan Turing as well, and he was actually selected to appear on the £50 note in 2021. Okay, so that's a big honor, of course, especially with a very hard history that he had in his life. Stephen writes, very interesting. Leanne writes, this is amazing. As someone who has played with an amateur orchestra before, I cannot tell the difference between AI and a real orchestra. Okay, so that recording was a real orchestra. The piece was AI, but you'll see that you can actually imitate a real orchestra without an orchestra today. So that's a very good point, Leanne. Thank you for the note. Okay, so what is AI? AI is short for artificial intelligence, and there are all kinds of definitions, and I want to provide my own definition. And my own definition, which I think is very simple, is this: to put it simply, when a computer does or creates something that is indistinguishable from a human creation. By the way, this is called generative AI, AI that generates new content. Okay, so this is a whole field that's called generative AI. There are other types of AI that are well known in computer science, but today when people say AI, in many cases they speak of generative AI, but that's not the only type of AI. We'll actually see some other types of AI later on. So, but generative AI, or AI in general, is when a computer does or creates something that is indistinguishable from a human creation. Okay, so how does it work? How does AI work? At the core is what is called training the AI. So just like I mentioned regarding Beethoven, they took the entirety of his works and they trained the system. They taught the system what a Beethoven piece should look like, sound like. And each time the AI guesses and it gets feedback on how accurate it was. Okay, now when we learn in a very similar way. When we start out as babies and children, then we can't control anything. We can't control our body. We don't understand words. Okay, we need to learn a lot. And we learn a lot and we try out and we get feedback. And what happens is in our brain, okay, our neurons start to become more and more accurate. In the AI system, okay, this is called parameters. The AI gets feedback. Did it guess correctly or guess incorrectly? And it changes its parameters within. Okay, so it's like a really huge computer brain with many, many, many different parameters that are adjusted in the learning process. So that the next time we ask it a question or we ask it to do something, it'll generate something that's very, very likely to be accurate. Okay, okay. Now, these parameters, okay, this is just a very broad description, of course. I went into ChatGPT and I asked how many parameters does ChatGPT have? And I got the answer. As of my last update in April 2023, the GPT-4 model, which includes ChatGPT, has approximately 175 billion parameters. Okay, parameters is a neural network model like GPT-4. In a neural network model like GPT-4 are the parts of the model that have learned from the training data and are adjusted during the training process to minimize errors in predictions. Okay, now, how is this compared to our own human brain? Okay, and there are already larger models than ChatGPT-4, but this is a very good model, which has 175 billion parameters. Okay, the human brain has between 600 to 6,000 times more the number of parameters. In the human brain, it's called synapses. It's where two neurons connect. And we have many, many, many more than these models. So you might say that the human brain is 6,000 times stronger than ChatGPT, but that's not really correct to say. What's definitely correct is that we do know to do a lot that these AI systems cannot do today. And some really believe that they won't be able to do ever, but there is a big debate about it. I will say this, that what we do have today has immense value to us, the real intelligence, okay? We can use these tools to just create great things, and also I call it our most trusty assistant, which we'll cover in our third session. We can really use it for many, many different tasks. Okay, now as AI developed, I'll mention a few milestones. One, which is more of an anecdote, was in 1770. And people were always interested in machines mimicking humans. And in 1770, there was a guy, his name was Wolfgang von Kempelen from Austria, and he created this contraption that was called the Mechanical Turk, and it could defeat humans playing chess. Notably, it was said that it defeated people like Napoleon, and but in reality, there was a tiny person in this compartment over here, playing with the levers and playing the chess. And actually, this went around Europe for about 80 years or so, defeating well-known people playing chess. But if we fast forward, then we get to 1996, and this is the first time when Deep Blue, which is an AI chess computer created by IBM, defeats world champion Garry Kasparov. Okay, this is the operator who operates Deep Blue, and here Garry Kasparov is playing the computer, and actually they had 5 games out of 6, and they were tied. The score was 2.5 against 2.5. And after the 6th game, Kasparov resigned after only 19 moves. And what I read is that his mother was in the audience, so I'm sure there was added pressure there. But he really lost the match on the last game, which was a very, very short game. And that was a big milestone in computer chess in general. In 2011, Apple releases Siri, which is also based on AI. You can speak to Siri, you can ask Siri all kinds of questions, you can ask Siri to do things for you. And the same year, IBM again showcases Watson, which was a huge computer playing Jeopardy, which is a trivia game, and defeating the biggest world champions in trivia. So that was also a very, very important milestone. And then in 2014, Tesla starts testing its autopilot system, where it recognizes what's happening on the road and deciding what to do next automatically with self-driving cars. Okay, and you can see AI now all around in guessing the next step. Social media, Facebook, everything is AI guessing what the next piece of content is best to show you that will be most interesting to you. And of course, today we have AI art, which I love. These are some beautiful AI art creations. Okay, this is something that I created of myself. This is another one of myself. This is another one. This is all created with AI art tools. Okay, this is one that I created based on another artist, okay? And this is based on a Mondrian painting, and I created something based on it. And actually what I love most about AI art is when you cannot distinguish it from regular or real art. I'm going to show you actually two very interesting pieces made by AI art in one of the one of the most well-known systems called Midjourney. And this is just of a tree drawn by watercolors. And you could never tell that this was not drawn by a person. And I'll show you another one. And this one, I'm sure you would never guess this was created by an AI. Look at this. This is the tree. And anyone who would look at this would be sure that this was created by a child drawing a tree. But no, this is AI created. And this is in the past few years, this became a very famous AI creation. It's called The Portrait of Edmund de Bellamy. But this was completely AI created. And the interesting thing about this painting is that it was sold for $432,500 in an auction. Okay, this was in 2018. Okay, so that's already a few years ago, and this was created by AI art in an old model that's not being used anymore for creating AI art, different type of computing model than the ones used today. It was at Christie's New York auction house, and it was sold for more than $400,000, a piece created by AI. So this is very, very serious. Okay, this is another one that I created. If you squint your eyes, you'll see a famous painting. And if you just look at the photo itself, it looks like a room with some books, but you'll see if you squint your eyes, then it's a very, very famous individual from a painting. You can type here if you know who that is. Tatiana writes, is Leonardo AI free to use? Yes, it is. There is a paid version, but the free version is amazing. It's amazing, and it can do a lot for you. So if you search for Leonardo AI, I'll speak more about it. Then yes, it's free to use. Marie writes, Mona Lisa. Yes, definitely, this is the Mona Lisa. Okay, so yes, Moich, this says this does look like the Mona Lisa. If you've been with me in the past, then I always have more further trainings, and I'm already planning my next set of trainings about AI. And this time it's going to be focused on specific tools that we can explore together. So in follow-ups on what we are doing now, I'll go deep into more AI tools on how to create these things and a lot more. So AI today is finally accessible to anyone with no technical background needed, and that's a huge opportunity in my opinion. Now, what does an AI system really do technically? The answer is it makes a great guess at what the next step is. And this could be the next chess move, like we saw. it could be the next dot in a generated image. Okay, that's not a really accurate description of how these image generators work, but conceptually, this is what happens. It guesses the next step. It could be the next action in a self-driving car. Do I stop? Do I accelerate? Do I turn right? Do I turn left? Or it could be, and this leads us into our main topic for these 3 sessions, the next piece of text. And in November 2022, a company called OpenAI releases ChatGPT. Okay, ChatGPT. I'm sure many of you are familiar with ChatGPT. I always like to check this. So I'll also do it today, and I'll launch again a quick poll. How often do you use ChatGPT? It could be daily. It could be once or twice a week. Not frequently. Do not use it at all. And if you don't know what ChatGPT is about, even just type in or select what is ChatGPT. Today, most people already know about ChatGPT, but by the way, this is anonymous. I don't see who typed what, so it's quite okay if this is the first time you are exposed to it. Completely fine. Okay, so we have 62% who have answered. So let's wait for a few more. Do you use ChatGPT daily, once or twice a week, not frequently, not use it all, or what is ChatGPT? Okay, so a few more votes coming in. Okay, 68%. I'll wait for 1 or 2 more. Okay, let's go over 70% with our poll. Okay, so if anyone hasn't voted yet, this is the time. Okay, so do you use it daily? Okay, all right. So let's end the poll and then share the results. Let's look at this together. So 17% are using daily, 43 once or twice a week. That's quite nice, really quite nice. And I really like seeing this. And I think this is also a result of some of the things we've been doing in the past few months. 35% say not frequently. And then we have 4%. What is ChatGPT? So some don't really know what the tool is, but generally you are using the tool, which is great. I really use this daily, many times a day, and I believe after we go through everything together in these 3 sessions, then you'll use it a lot more. Okay, so let me end the poll over here. This was released in November of 2022. And if you want to go to ChatGPT, okay, Christina writes new to it. Okay, great, Christina, thank you. To get to it, you just type in chat.openai.com. That's the link to go to when you use a browser. It's completely free to use. There is a free version and there is a paid version. And with ChatGPT, you chat just like with any person. So it's a chat. We type and we get an answer. Okay, so we are the tester or this judge, and we are chatting and we get something back. Okay, however, this person we are chatting with has access to almost the entire human body of knowledge, and we can actually teach it how to talk to us. Okay, so we'll do a quick demonstration, and I always like showing a few steps, and always I like asking it different questions. And in tomorrow's session, we'll go much more deeper on how to ask these questions or how to create these texts, which are called prompts. So we'll switch over to ChatGPT. So I'll go over now to my browser, and this is the ChatGPT website. Okay, and I'm going to ask it a question. By the way, you see I'm using ChatGPT 4, which is the paid version, but you can do this. Almost all of what I'll show here, you can do in the free version, okay, which is called 3.5. Okay, there are more things in ChatGPT that I won't cover today, but let's ask it a question, and let's ask, how do ants find their way? Okay, so we're asking a question. Now, the amazing thing that really is happening, what you see here is the answer getting created. Ants find their way using a variety of sophisticated navigation methods that are quite impressive given their small size. Here are the main strategies they use. Okay, so they have pheromone trails. Ants are well known for laying down pheromone trails, visual landmarks, path integration. Ants use a method called path integration to calculate a direct route back to their nest, and polarized light. So very, very interesting. But what you saw happen just here, each word appearing, the reason that it's appearing word by word is that each time ChatGPT is calculating what the next word should be. It doesn't know in advance. It doesn't have the concept of this answer. And this is, it always amazes me when I see this happen, even though I've been using it so much. So just so you know, when you work with this tool or when you explain it to someone else, these words that you see appearing, each one of them or even each part of the word gets generated right now. It doesn't have a concept of the entire answer. Okay, but because it's been so well trained, then it knows to generate something that looks very intelligent. Okay, now I'll take you to the next step, and I'll ask you to explain this as if you would to a 7-year-old child. Okay, so now I want to ask it to change its tone and explain it differently. I always love this exercise. And if you have a child you want to explain something to, this is a great use. You can take something that you want to explain and get really good ideas on how to explain it. Okay, so sure. Imagine you're an ant. You need to find your way around, even though you're really tiny. Here's what you would do. 1, leaving trails. Think of using a crayon to draw a line on the floor so that you can follow it back to your room. Ants do something similar. They leave a special scent on the ground when they walk. This scent smells like a trail marker that tells other ants where to go to find food and how to get back home. Okay, great. Looking at things around them, just like when you recognize places by looking at big trees or buildings, ants look at things around them too. I won't read everything because it's long, okay? Tell me in the chat if you like this, okay? Keeping track. Imagine you take steps and count them so you know how far you've walked from home. Ants have a special way of remembering how far they have traveled and which way they turn, using light from the sky and so on. Okay, we'll do something in addition, which I love doing, which is this. We'll ask ChatGPT, and once again, you can do this for free just by going to ChatGPT. So let's ask it to create a poem for the child and use emojis. Like using emojis. So let's use emojis and see what it generates. Here's a fun and simple poem for a child with some emojis to make it even more enjoyable. Okay, so here we see emojis. Little ant marching in a line leaves a scent trail. Oh, so fine. Sniff, sniff, here and there. Follow the path to the food to share. See that tree, tall and grand? It's a marker in this big land. Eyes open, take a peek. Ants use landmarks when they seek. So it rhymes, and it's just beautiful reading it to a child. Okay, let's create a story out of this. Let's create a story the child can relate to. Okay, so it's going to create a story for us, and we can really turn this into a book if we wanted. Once upon a time, a cozy garden filled with daisies and clovers, there lived a curious little ant named Andy. Andy was known among his ant friends for his adventurous spirit and his never-ending curiosity about the world beyond their ant hill. One sunny morning, while the dew was still sparkling on the grass, Andy decided it was the perfect day for an adventure. He said goodbye to his family. I'll get back by sunset, and set off into the vast green garden. Okay, so he sets off, and then he needs to go back, and this explains the whole thing, okay, about what he needs to do to get back, okay? I won't read everything, but I'm sure you would like to read it, so I'll share this entire chat with you. Andy's story teaches us about the clever ways ants navigate and reminds us that no matter how far we roam, we can always find our way back home with a little smart thinking and a lot of courage. Okay, so what if you wanted to repeat this process, and if you want to repeat this for yourself, I'll click this button over here on the right, which is sharing a link. Okay, so now it's creating a link. I'll copy the link. Okay, now the link is copied, and I can actually put it over here in the chat in Zoom. And at any time, you can click it and see this this chat. Now, finally, suppose I want to really create this book. Let's ask ChatGPT to suggest a title. Okay, so please suggest title to the book. Okay, so it's going to suggest a few titles or one title. And when you are using GPT-4, how about calling the book Andy the Ant's Big Adventure? Okay, the title captures the spirit of exploration and the charming character of Andy. And when you're using ChatGPT-4, then you can create images as well. This you cannot do in the free version, but you can do it in other free tools as well. Right now, we'll just create it over here. So I'll write, please create cover image for the book. Okay, so now it's going to create an image for me, and this is something that we could use then later on. We'll give it a few seconds creating the image. It takes a bit of time, and then it's going to create this image for us. Now, you can do, okay, it's written Annie's Big Adventure, okay? Still AI image creators sometimes have problems with text. As you see, I can ask it to do it again. I can obviously take this image and just modify it using some piece of software, but I can also ask generate it again, and it'll generate it again with a new text, which will be okay. So so we have a cover for our book. So that's wonderful, and you can do all of that with any subject that you choose, and this is only with using text. And today, with using text, you can get answers to your questions. You can create written articles and written stories. You can use text to generate images. You'll see soon how you use text to generate other types of content. You can even code today, really create computer code with prompting. And one of the very famous AI scientists called Andrei Karpathy, and he worked on the Tesla autopilot in the early days of Tesla, and he was one of the lead developers at OpenAI. I think he recently left OpenAI, really recently, and he said the hottest new programming language is English. Just typing, and you can program with English. Okay. A key insight is that AI does the driving, and we steer it in the right direction. We steer it in the right direction. It's a very, very, very fast and powerful car. And the key to using AI is knowing how to prompt. Okay. And in the next session, I do have one more thing I want to share with you today. This is really an introduction. In our next session, I will share with you great prompting techniques. Okay. Some of these you may have seen already, some are new. And these are good ways to construct great prompts to get ChatGPT and other AI systems to really give you great results. And many people go into ChatGPT and they think, well, it's interesting, it's nice, but it's not so useful. The reason people think it's not that useful many times is they just don't know how to use it. So the better driver you are, the better you can steer this great car. Okay, let me talk about some other AI tools, and we'll go much deeper into ChatGPT tomorrow and the next day. So some other AI tools. There is Gemini by Google. Gemini was released in the past. Google called it Bard. and then they changed the name. Now it's called Gemini. Very, very, very good AI system. It's a great competitor to ChatGPT, also free. They have a free version and a paid version. And if you go to Gemini, then you can ask it to do many things for you. Let me show you a quick example, which is relevant to what I showed you earlier. Okay, so if I go to Google Gemini for a second, it looks like this. Okay, very, very similar to ChatGPT. Okay, so this is Google Gemini. It says, if you just go to gemini.google.com, you'll find it. It says, hello, Amir, how can I help you today? And I can type the prompt over here. Okay, tell me in a short paragraph, in an engaging storytelling manner, the story of Alan Turing. If you remember the short clip I showed you, this is how I generated the text. Okay, I went into, I think it was ChatGPT, it may have been a Gemini, okay, and I just asked it for the text, okay. Imagine a brilliant mind cracking code that changed the course of history. That was Alan Turing, a mathematician who loved puzzles, and so on and so on. If I want a short summary of someone's life, I can do it. I can go into ChatGPT or Gemini and just do that. Okay, so this is an example of Google Gemini, which you can use very, very similarly to ChatGPT. So that's Gemini. There is Leonardo AI that I mentioned. I'll talk more about it later. There is Midjourney, another very important system for image generation. And now I want to show you something that I've used to compile this clip from before, and we'll see another very interesting clip. This is called 11 Labs. Okay, 11 Labs does voice generation and cloning. So you can give it text. It's different than a generative AI, although it's a type of generation. You can give it text. Let me go into 11 Labs, and I'll show you really that I have a few texts over here that I've given it. Okay, so this is speech synthesis by 11 Labs. And this was the text that we heard before in the short clip. In the heart of war-torn Britain, I chose a voice, and if I play it.
In the heart of war-torn Britain lived a brilliant and eccentric mind named Alan Turing. A mathematical genius, he held a secret dream to build a thinking machine, a device that could outsmart humans.
So, in the short clip that we saw, I didn't write the text. No one actually wrote the text. AI wrote the text. I didn't use a narrator. I used 11 Labs for the narration, and you saw many, many images. And Steven asked, how do you get ChatGPT to create the image? You just ask for the image, and let me show you right now what I did with ChatGPT. Okay, so this is I'm now showing you my chat with ChatGPT for creating the images that I used in the clip that I showed you. I wrote this. I have a piece of text I would like to create a video from. Okay, Slavika asked, can you have a female voice? Yes. And Slavika, if you go to 11 Labs, there is a free version. You get a number of minutes every month, and definitely you can do that. I have a piece of text I would like to create a video from. To do that, I would like a series of images. I would like to give you the text and have you divide it into its sentences, then generate an appropriate image, and in the same style, fitting to the same, all in the same style, fitting to the subject and period. Do you understand? So it's answering me, I understand. Please provide the text. Okay. Steve asks, will this method be okay to post on social media? Voice match with images? Yes. The answer is yes. And if you are, I'm not sure if you are referring to copyright issues, okay? But in terms of copyright, today, all of what's AI generated in most countries is considered non-copyrighted, okay? I can expand on it later on, but yes, definitely this is a great use case for social media. So you can start with the text. Here, I'm asking ChatGPT to create images. So I gave it the text, and then it says, okay, great, let's break that down. into sentences. One in the heart of war-torn Britain, and so on. Okay, then number 2, number 3, it divided into 10 sentences. Okay, and then let's proceed with generating these images. And it started generating the images. And it's showing me an image, and I said, yes, continue. For the second piece, yes, continue. The third one, yes, continue. It continued using the same style, continue. And then I got to the Turing test. Okay, for the Turing test, it gave me this. And I didn't like it so much because it doesn't show the Turing test. So I said, try recreating this image to reflect the meaning of the Turing test. And it gave me a couple of others. Okay, and it shows this one, which really looks like a photograph. Okay, I don't know why it's not loading. Let's go back over here, click it again. Not sure why it's not loading, but you can see it over here. Okay, so it's revised that, and I got all the different images. Okay, Marie asked, can you input speech in a foreign language and have it translated into another language, voice or translate? Definitely. So yes, the answer is yes. You can use ChatGPT for the translation. You can chat in different languages, especially languages which are a lot used, because then there is a lot of training data for the AI. So if it's French or Spanish or Italian and so on, it does a great job. And 11 Labs, where I was before, okay, it has a number of languages as well, and there are other systems that can do that. So thank you for the question. And then finally, I want to show you something very, very nice, and that's another type of AI that's now already available for us, and it wasn't just a short while ago. Okay, so we spoke about, of course, ChatGPT and Gemini. We spoke about image generation, 11 Labs, which is voice generation. And now there is actually music generation that's really, really good. One of the great companies for music generation is called Suno. Okay. Moich, I'll see you next time. Okay. There is no repeats for this, but there is obviously a recording. So Suno music generation, which can generate real music. You can give it text to generate the music. You can get just music. And actually, if I go back, and I'll go back to my original clip before I show you something final for this session. If you listen to this explanation about Alan Turing, you'll hear background music, which I created using Suno. So everything in this movie, the images, the text, the narration, the background music was all AI created. Let's look at it again now that you've seen all of this.
In the heart of war-torn Britain lived a brilliant and eccentric mind named Alan Turing. A mathematical genius, he held a secret dream to build a thinking machine.
Okay, so the background, this background was done using Suno. So if I go to Suno, just to show you how my Suno library looks, then I can click play. This is the background music that I created, also using AI. Okay, and again, Suno is free. You can use it, and you just give it a mood, and it just does this for you. Now, let me end today. Just a second. I'll go back to my presentation. Let me end. Okay. All right. All right, so we were over here. Yes. So let me end with a song that I created for all of you. And it's about our training together. Okay. It's created using both ChatGPT and Suno. Okay. I have only one warning. It's very catchy. So you will remember this song after we are done. Okay, so let's look at the song about mastering ChatGPT with Amir. Are you ready? Okay, give me a thumbs up if you are ready. Okay, excellent. All right, let's start.
dreams take flight. Amir Harduf's here to light the night. From Turing's test to AI art, no tech degree needed to play your part. Dive into the AI stream, feel the power, master ChatGPT. This is your hour. Ask, create, and explore, you'll see. Ace for all, let your mind be free. Create with words, no tech expertise required. Amir teaches your muse inspired. Turn prompts into art, conversations into gold. In this AI journey, watch wonders unfold. Dive into the AI stream, feel the power, master ChatGPT. This is your hour tonight. Dive into the AI stream, feel the power, master ChatGPT. This is your hour. Ask, create, and explore, you'll see. Ace for all, let your mind be free. Create with words, no tech expertise required.
Okay, so thank you for all of that you're writing here. Great. Mary writes, love it. Leanne writes, Lavika, love it. Well done, Amir. Thank you. Chris, fabulous. Marie, great fun. Yes, it is great fun. All of this was created with AI. Just the editing, I'm using a tool that actually has AI capabilities that's called Kapwing, which knows how to actually extract the text and do all kinds of effects. But this is just editing. The music, the actual singing is all AI generated. Okay, Alison writes, fab, great session. Thanks so much. Looking forward to the next one. Me as well. Nava writes, the rightful. Thank you so much for all you share, Amir. Thank you. Thomas, thank you, Amir. Brilliant as ever. Thank you, Steve. I'll be unable to make tomorrow. Not a problem. There will be, like I said, recordings. Ravi writes as usual. Oh, this is a bit fast for me. Another fascinating session. Thank you, Ravi. Gloria, always a great time. Christina, amazing. Marie, editing was this through Kapwing. Yes, it was through Kapwing. Okay, Leanne, thank you. See you tomorrow. Yes, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Marie, as well. Yeah, we're going to look at a lot more. Okay, what can you do with AI? You can do a lot more play games. You can write articles, essays, poems, letters, summarize texts, get advice, medical, legal, financial, everyday advice. We'll see how to do that. Plan trips, meals, vacations, plan your day. You can use it for business. Okay, and this is what we'll do in our next session. How to prompt, my most recommended AI tools. And in our third session, I will show you many of these with ChatGPT as your trusty assistant, which is what we'll do. So thank you so much. Okay, this was also created, this thank you by a tool called Adobe Firefly. The text was thank you, and the prompt was folk embroidered fabric, which is how the background looks, also created by AI. So thank you very much, and I will see you same time tomorrow. Recordings will be up very soon as well. So bye for now. Let me just see all of you together. Thank you again so much. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.